you guys. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. My name is Jennifer Yarbrough. I am your nonprofit expert, over 35 years of experience helping nonprofit leaders start, grow, and sustain their nonprofit businesses. Now, let me say this. Today, I'm about to jump into a topic that it might be a little uncomfortable, all right? But we're going to dive right on in because I'm that kind of girl. And I just want to shed some light so that many of you who are frustrated, have been frustrated, can prevent some frustration. That is my goal today, all right? So, for those of you who may be new to me, I've got over 35 years of experience helping organizations start, grow, and sustain themselves. My specialty is in working with organizations that are just getting started, all right? Those organizations that are stuck, and those organizations that are just a little bit stagnant in their inability to grow because of lack of knowledge, not money, but lack of understanding of how to generate revenue. Now, the common thing that I get, or the common question that I get is, Jen, I need money for my nonprofit. Of course you do, right? Every business needs money. And those funds are used to help support, expand, extend, and duplicate your programs, which are important, which are impact centered and mission oriented, to improve not just the lives of the people who are in your program, but also to improve the community at large. Now let's talk about the money. All right, let's talk about the money, honey. We all need the money. So grants, all right? Let's just get it all out on the table. Let's just talk about that elephant in the room. Grants, honey. Grants are great. Grants are great. And they are funds that don't have to be repaid, all right? But let's talk about the fact that they're not free, nor are they guaranteed. Now, I'm just going to let you sit with that for just a moment. They are not technically free. They come with the criteria, right? You got to apply for them. That means that there are some considerations that go into the decision-making process. There is no guarantee, all right? I'm just going to say it. There is no guarantee. I know. We want a guarantee, particularly when you hire a grant writer. That's me. I'm the grant writer, right? You hire the grant writer and you're wanting it to be a guarantee. Now, let me tell you what there is a guarantee as it relates to grants. Guarantee there are funds available for what you're doing. Guarantee. All right? Guarantee that you and your idea could get funding. Guarantee. However, what comes into that, or what comes into play? What are some of the factors? All right. The funder is making a decision, not just on your idea, right? The funder is making a decision based upon your understanding of how you're going to sustain this idea as well. That comes into play. And that has nothing to do with me as the grant writer. This is really about don't kill the grant writer, right? Don't hold the grant writer hostage. Don't be feeling some kind of way because, you wrote one grant and you haven't heard anything. Why haven't you heard anything, Jen? Because it's a decision-making process, okay? How long could that decision take? That decision could take 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months. It could take a year. It could take longer than that. That's their prerogative, right? It's their money, people. They can release them funds whenever they get good and darn ready. Now, exhale. You need your money today, right? You need the money today. So then what do? You don't rely only on grants. Any and every business has multiple streams of income. Turn to your neighbor and say multiple streams of income. So that means that you are not sitting back, twiddling your thumbs, harassing your grant writer about why haven't I heard yet? Why haven't I heard yet, right? I'm going to tell you, get busy raising money from other streams of revenue, right? Every business, turn to your other neighbor and say every business. Every business, right, has multiple streams of revenue. So in your business, it does not matter what business model you have, if it's a for-profit or a non-for-profit, right? And only a non-for-profit is a category. It's a category. It's a business, however. And it just means that you have a different plan for your profit than the for-profit, right? What do you do in the non-profit with your profit? Because you have to have money. You have to have money. You have to have raised money. Forecast, right, in the future for your program, for your staff, for your building, for your supplies, for your equipment, for your transportation, for your all the things of running a business, right? So what do you do with that revenue? You expand your program, right? You create stability. You raise money. How about that? That certain parts of your revenue should be used to raise money. That's what you do with the grant writer. You're using parts of your revenue to raise money, to get more money, right? So, God help me not go on a tangent. I think it's too late. So listen, the grant writer, right? The grant as a stream of revenue. One stream, not the only stream, a stream. With what are the other streams, Jen? You've got individuals, you've got corporations, you've got in-kind, you've got products and services, you've got the events, all right? You've got other ways and means by which you are cultivating, generating, reaching, identifying, prospecting new customers, new donors, new cash. Let's just talk it straight, all right? I'm that kind of girl. Some people can't take it, but I'm just going to tell you like it is, all right? Cash. So that you can do your work. While you are waiting for the grant. And we don't know when they're going to make a decision. They may make a decision in 2 weeks. They may make a decision in 2 months. They may make a decision in 8 months. I don't know. I wish I knew. Y'all don't even understand how I wish I knew. I wish I knew. But I don't. No one does. Right? And the truth is this. That goes across the board. When you are identifying new donors, new individual donors, when you're identifying prospective sponsors and other supporters, when you're looking for board members and volunteers, you don't know when they're going to make a decision, right? Which is why you don't rely on the ones that you just talked to. You keep speaking, you keep inviting, engaging, encouraging. Why? Because now you're not waiting on this handful of people to make a decision. No, you are broadening your reach. The more people that know about what you do, the more people that love what you do, the more people that understand what you do, those are the people that support what you do. They support you with cash. They support you with their time. They support you by volunteering. They support you by sharing their resource. They support you by becoming an evangelist for your work, right? But when do they make that decision? You don't know. The same with grants. Now, I want you to be encouraged by this conversation, all right? I don't want you to feel discouraged. I don't want you to feel defeated. I don't want you to feel unsure. I don't want you to feel like, oh my gosh, what's my guarantee? Let me tell you what your guarantee is. Your guarantee is that if you do the work of letting and inviting as many people as possible, understand what you do, see the value in what you do, right? Those are the more people that could support what you do. The same is true with grants. You're not writing just one grant. You're not relying on just one grant. Okay? You recognize that without the work done, without the work being presented to a funder, what is your guarantee there? You're not going to get the funding. What's the guarantee that if you are not out cultivating other streams of revenue, the guarantee is your organization is not going to be sustainable? What is the guarantee if you don't know how to do it and it's not done properly? You're not going to get the funding. What is the guarantee that if you don't build your team and you're in your internal capacity and knowledge of how to do it, what's the guarantee? You're likely going to run out of money and you might be spending your own money. So what's the guarantee? You're going to get tired of that. What's the guarantee? Since we're talking and want to know all about the guarantee, when y'all come and hire people, what's my guarantee? What's my guarantee? My thing is this: your guarantee of not knowing how to do it, but wanting it done, your guarantee is that it's not going to get done. The guarantee of you trying to do everything by yourself, guarantee you can't. Guarantee. So why do you hire? Why do you invest in, support a team? People who know what they're doing, because they're doing the work for you. They're doing the work, right? You want people who know it and can get it done quicker. Some of y'all been sitting around here. I've been thinking about it. I've been trying to do it. I've been Googling it. I've been on YouTube. I've been taking classes. Now we're what? One year in, 2 year in, 3 year in, and it still's not done. What's the guarantee? What's the guarantee? You haven't saved any money. You've been spending money out of your own pocket. You're out of more money trying to do it yourself. Why am I on this tangent today? I'm on this tangent today because I just want you all to hear the truth. All right? You can do it yourself. You absolutely can do it yourself. It's probably going to take longer. You're likely going to be frustrated, not confident. I mean, I could be wrong, and I'm open. I'm open for you to say, no, Jen, that's not true. But this is just what I've heard. All right. This is just, around the water cooler. This is what I've heard. When I started, let me tell you guys about my little history. I wrote my very first grant when I was an intern in college, and I did not know what I did not know. I was clueless. I knew less than nothing. I had no idea what I was doing. No idea. And I didn't care. So I wasn't out of anything. I didn't care, right? I wrote it as a class assignment. My very first grant was a drug and alcohol elimination grant for HUD, and it was for $250,000. I wrote it as an intern for the Kingsport Housing Authority in Kingsport, Tennessee. It was funded. Did I know it was going to be funded? It wasn't coming to me. It was going to the Kingsport Housing Authority. I had no idea. I was writing the proposal to turn into a class for a class assignment. Now, everyone in the class made it up. Some of y'all who got the spirit of making it up. Just making it up as you go. Just making it up. This is when I learned. This right here was what I learned. This was the takeaway from this class, okay? Everybody else made it up. They made their proposal up. They just totally sat there dreaming, da-da-da-da-da. That's great. I was kind of like, man, I didn't know enough to make it up. I felt like I wrote a real one and they made it up. But I got the A and mine was funded. And I went on to write for almost over $3 million in grants. I wrote a grant for visually impaired. And then I wrote a grant for a bank where they were moving individuals out of public housing into their own home ownership. And so the grant was to help these 27 families move out of public housing and into their first home. Did I mention that I was a child, that I was a student? I'm having to call my dad and say, Dad, what is it like to own a home? What is it like, Dad? What are the things that occur when you become a homeowner? So that I could put that in the grant, right? I had to put in home repair. I had to put in insurance because they were coming from an environment where all of those those skills and those services were being done for them. I've never lived in a housing authority. Nothing wrong with it. I just never lived in one, right? I've never taken any drugs. Listen, if you've had your experience, that's your business. That's just not been my experience. But I had to do the research. I had to knock on doors. I had to have conversations to understand how to articulate this in writing, right? All that to say, what I learned, and this has been over 35 years ago, what I learned is that making it up is not sustainable. It's not sustainable. I've gone on to not just write grants, but to raise money, fundraising. I'm a professional fundraiser for organizations. And there's probably not, I've not run into anything that I've not raised money for in my career. I've raised money for a lot of different things, a lot of different organizations. And what I have learned is the principles and the process of raising money, any type of money, is the same. People got to know what you do, and they've got to understand why what you do is important. They've got to believe that you have the capacity to get it done. It's not about the money. The money is not the issue. That's not the issue. The money is used as an investment to support the work, right? So the grant writer's job is to describe, to articulate, to clarify, to introduce in the proposal format why this work is important, right? That's the grant writing's job. But in the area of, as I mentioned, other streams of revenue, that when you are not only dealing and waiting on the grant funder to make a decision, right? Now we're talking to other people, because again, the more people that know what you do, the more people that believe in what you do, the more people that understand the value of what you do, those people then can take and make the decision to support the work that you do, right? So you've got grants, you've got individuals, right? How are you showing and sharing your mission? You're showing and sharing the impact and the importance of your work, the need for what you do. Those are elements of the grant writing process. This is what I learned, y'all, that the grant writing process helps you to also make introduction, bring awareness to, clarify, inform, invite, engage other parts of the community that could give you the other streams of income, right? You've got your individuals, you've got your corporations, you've got your products and services, you've got program fees, you've got in-kind, you've got volunteers, you've got all of these ways by which, using this information that is provided by the clear articulation of the grant writer, how to raise more money from other places. Y'all, it's a circle. And it does not end when you do it right. Okay? So, it all is a process. There is no guarantee. Just don't make me tell the truth. I'm going to tell the truth anyway. Some of y'all starting these businesses, these nonprofits, you've never done it, no guarantee. You've never worked in one, no guarantee. Now, you ain't got a problem. You've got no problem pouring your resource into that. But when it comes to hiring somebody who is skilled and who has experience and who can do it, now all of a sudden you're scared. The process is the process. And the only guarantee of your success in this process is your consistency. There are factors that go into the grant writing process that have nothing to do with me or any grant writer, right? Your budget, your website, right? Your social media presence. Those are things that are factored in that have nothing to do with my work at all. Nothing to do with us, right? What happens when you've submitted the proposal and you've not heard from them yet? Could it be that they just haven't made the decision yet? Could it be that they are going through all of the proposals that they have received and they're waiting to make that decision? That's their prerogative. But the same happens with the other streams of income. When you're speaking to individuals, can you guarantee when they're going to make a decision and write you that check? No, you can't. When you ask people to be on the board, can you guarantee when they're going to make a decision to join your organization? No, there's no guarantee. Now, I understand that it's about the money. You want the money, but it's not about the money. There are multiple streams of income. And while you are waiting patiently for people to go through their process, the great thing is those are not the only people. You've got communities, you've got counties, you've got states, you've got regions, you've got reach for your impact conversation. So the more people that know what you do, the more people that understand what you do, the more people then that are making the consideration of supporting you. That's why you don't rely on grants. Grants are great. They give large amounts of money in most cases, right? And I'm not talking about, some of these smaller grants, which are fine, but you need cash that's going to move the needle in your financial capacity. But that takes time. The guarantee is if you don't have the time to not only deliver your program, you don't have the time to also market and cultivate and engage and inform and invite others to see the work that you do as important, the guarantee is it's not going to be successful either way. And that has nothing to do with the individual services that are provided for you. This is why your strategic plan is important. This is why you having a team of people that can help you is important. This is where knowledge comes in. This is where understanding how the process work comes in. That has nothing to do with money. Money is a fruit. Those of y'all who have heard this song before, right? Chorus and verse, join in with me, honey. Money is the fruit, not the root. At the root of no money, there is no plan to get it. There is no consistent articulation of impact, right? To the world, to anybody and everybody. Why? Because we know that 98% of the people give because of impact. 98% of people give because of impact. 98% of people give because of impact. And across the board of funding, people give to people. People make the decision around grants. People make the decisions around sponsorship. People make the decisions about individual donors. People give to people. So 98% of people give because of impact. That's important to them. So how do you raise more money and how do you get more money quickly? You are speaking about impact. Why is this important? Why is the work important now? What's at stake? What's the need that's being addressed, right? That is where you've got to come from behind the counter of peddling your product. That means doing your program, running your program, focused only on your program, but you've got to get out there and start talking to the community who don't know, who's not aware of your program. They're not involved or engaged or a participant in your program, right? You've got to do the work of bringing awareness to what you do, why what you do is important, what's at stake right now, and the proof that it's important, the return on investment. It's their money. I just want you to consider this, that if you are serious about your guarantees, you want guarantees? Guarantee. Running any type of business, for profit or not, you've got to know who your customer is. You've got to understand the value that is exchanged for revenue, for money. They're not giving money because you want it or you need it. There's a return on that investment. So understanding your value, speaking your value, showing and sharing the value. That is what motivates, inspires, and engages people to want to know more and then to give you the check. You hire a grant writer to do the research. You hire the grant writer to put your program into a narrative format. You hire the grant writer to do the work for you. You can't do it all yourself. And you hire a grant writer to get it done quickly. Yes, you do. You don't say to the grant writer, listen, I need you to give it to me and I don't want to pay you. I'm going to wait until for somebody else to pay you. I'm going to wait for the grant to pay you, but you want your work done right now. So what's the motivation for the grant writer? That you want them to work right now and not get paid. Now that's a whole different conversation that I just don't know if people are ready to have right now. And I am ready to walk all the way in it, all the way in it. And for people who have given grant writers a bad name, I never heard anything. I never heard it. That's not the grant writer's fault. The funder is making that decision. That has nothing to do with the grant writer. The funder is the one that's going through that process of reviewing all the applications, and it could be hundreds, if not thousands. That is not the grant writer's fault. And if you've not heard anything from the funder, then you and the grant writer talk about how do we get in touch with the funder to see where we are in the process. Now, the funder may or may not answer that question. They may or they may not. But either way, the great news is you're not relying only on the grant funder. Why? Because you've got other streams of revenue. Y'all, I hope I've made sense. Okay? I want you to know money is not your problem. There is no shortage of money. And if you are finding yourself right now in your business saying, Jen, I don't have any money, then I would encourage you to say, show your value. That's how you get money. That's how the exchange happens. That's how your donors give. There's an exchange of value. They're giving because they believe in the work that you do. That's the exchange. They see that the need that you are addressing is important. That's the exchange. They understand that what you are doing is really making a difference in the lives of the community at large. That's the exchange. When you are writing the grant, the application, the funder is deciding that you are doing a work that is important to them. That's the exchange. That's the exchange. So you want to share and show your value. I would challenge you to look at how many ways am I sharing my value other than social media? Because your donors and your funders may not be sitting around perusing the social medias all day. How else are you getting in front of them? Where are you sharing the testimonials of the effectiveness of your work? All right? Show them why the exchange and the value that you bring is important. That's how the money comes. That's the guarantee. That's the guarantee. All right? Grants are great. And they are funds that don't have to be repaid. And that's across the board in every one of your funding streams. But you've got to show the value. You hire the grant writer to show that value for you. You hire a fundraiser to show that value for you to your donors. You cannot do it all yourself. So, if that service and if that support is going to help you save time and position your organization in front of more people, it's worth the investment. Listen, I'm going to get off this tangent, and I hope that what I've said to you makes sense. I've been doing this work for a long time, y'all. And it was my job, my 9-to-5 job was to help close to 1,000 organizations each and every year put together plans and strategies and systems to raise money. Grants are a part of that. Okay. Grants are a part of that, but not the only part. Not the only part. And that's the great news that guarantee your organization can be sustainable if you know what to do and do what you know to do that's going to generate the revenue, period. Right? And the multiple streams of revenue, the ongoing cash flow, where does that come from? That comes from the people who know what you do and value what you do and exchange. There is an exchange. Listen, if you guys would like to learn more, follow me. If this has been entertaining, compelling to you, like and share. Leave a comment. I'm happy to respond to all comments as well. I am here as your nonprofit expert to give you some advice that you didn't pay for, but that will be priceless in terms of helping your organization go to the next level with clarity and knowledge and strategy. I've got Facebook groups. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on all the places and the spaces. Follow me on TikTok, and I'm happy to support you. My team, which is amazing, we have a lot of services that go beyond grants. We have a full wraparound um, a catalog of services that help in the areas of grants and fundraising, marketing, strategy, cultivation, mentoring, coaching, all the things. Knowledge is what's going to take your organization to the next level. Understanding how to do it is going to shore up your guarantees and give you the confidence and the ability and the capacity to take your organizations and your businesses to the next level. You want guarantees? Who doesn't? But you got to do the work to make those guarantees come to life. And myself and my team are here to help you to do that. I'll be back to do um, another live, and hopefully it'll be around a subject that will also push you to think, to strategize, and to have the confidence. All right. I don't want to talk at you. I want to talk with you. I want to explain with you. I want to be able to share with you my experience and the process that I use to make the money for the organizations and the businesses that I work for. All right. It is a process. Trust the process. All right. Don't get discouraged by the process. Everybody, every single business has to go through the same process. You got to share your value. You got to find your ideal customer or donor or supporter, and you've got to wait for them to make the decision. But you're not waiting just for them. You're continuing to market, to share your value and invite people to see what you do. That's across the board, any and every business. So congratulations. You're part of the process, and I encourage you to stay in the process. If you'd like to have a conversation with me, I offer a 20-minute consult. Get on my calendar. It's www.timewithjen.com. That's TIMEWITHJEN.com, timewithjen.com. Go to my website, jdsandavidyarbrough.com. That's YARBROUGH.com. jdyarbrough.com is my website. All right. I hope this, guys, has been helpful to you. And if so, please share, please like and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. All right. Bye.